Hi, everyone. I'm Nicholas Tutora. Welcome to Tutora Time. Well, Donald Trump spoke at CPAC over the weekend, and he brought down the House. It was good, after a month of not hearing Trump, to see him speak out in full force against the horrors of the first month of Joe Biden's presidency.
Already the Biden administration has proven that they are anti-jobs, anti-family, anti-borders, anti-energy, anti-women, and anti-science. In one short month, we have gone from America first to America last.
He basically said he would run again in 2024.
And then a Republican president will make a triumphant return to the White House. And I wonder who that will be.
You know, one of the things I would like to see, him running for president again would be fantastic. But, you know, he should also think about running for Congress from his district in Florida in 2022, because if the Republicans take back the House, he could be Speaker of the House. And then President Kamala Harris at that point would have to deal with Donald Trump as the Speaker of the House and a Republican majority in both houses. I think a great idea would be every Trump run for Congress. Don Jr., Eric, Ivanka, all of them, because they could all win in the races they would run in, and we would wake up to have 5 or 6 Trumps sitting in the United States Congress, which would blow down the walls on all the communist, fascist left that we're hearing in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. You know, the left has really lost their mind, and Trump pointed it out. You know, the silencing of free speech. It used to be in this country, you speak your idea, I speak my idea. Each side speaks their point of view, and then the people decide. But the left wants to do away with that. They want to outlaw the speech of the right, classify people as domestic violent extremists, using excuses to shut them down and take away their freedom of expression. And they're doing all this for one reason. They know that their arguments are lousy, and they know that their arguments can't win.
We embrace free thought. We stand up to political correctors. And we reject left-wing lunacy, and in particular, we reject cancel culture.
If you have good arguments, you don't have to worry about shutting down the other side. The only time you have to shut down the other side is when you know your arguments can't stand up to scrutiny. The other thing that Trump called out, and I have a whole episode on this, is that Time magazine openly admitted that there was a vast cabal working behind the scenes to prevent Trump from winning. Time magazine didn't say the election was rigged. They called it fortified. Not a rigged election, a fortified one, mind you. And Trump called that out also. The left just couldn't help bragging about it. They couldn't resist the temptation to state that they indeed made sure that Trump was not going to win the election by changing election laws and rules. After the fact, all of that was done illegally and unconstitutionally, so you don't really even have to look for any other evidence except that. That right there alone shows that the Democrats were not wanting a fair election. The other thing Trump pointed out, which is so true, is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court refused to hear any of the cases, all based on standing.
And the Supreme Court and other courts didn't want to do anything about it.
Donald Trump was the president of the United States. It's a presidential election, and the leadership of the country, the direction of the country, 75 million people's votes are on the line, and the Supreme Court found a way to reject it based on standing. If the president doesn't have access to the courts, who can? If the president doesn't have standing in a presidential election, who does? The other lawsuit that was brought, the Texas lawsuit that 20 states joined, the Supreme Court also rejected that based on standing. The Supreme Court wants to avoid these cases because the left is leaning on them politically. The left is talking about stacking the Supreme Court. And I think John Roberts wants to prevent that, so he doesn't want to come down with any decisions that is going to upset the left. He wants to hold on to his power position of being Chief Justice. Trump came along and ripped the cover right off the ball and exposed all the corruption that's been there underneath. Now it's up to us to continue to speak up and to fight back. And speaking out publicly, we must continue to do. If you're a Republican, talk to your Democrat friends that you know. Don't try to bash them, but call them out. Ask them, do they want to see their neighbors criminalized? Do they want to see their neighbors' free speech taken away? And what's going to happen when they're on the other side of the equation? When the Nazis came to power, the first actions they took against the Jews were to take away their radios and their telephones, their ability to communicate. The ability to communicate, the left is trying to strip from us again today. They took away Donald Trump's Twitter and Facebook platform. How much more authoritarian can it be than that? Taking the voice of the President of the United States offline so he can't communicate with people who voted for him and his supporters. If that's not fascism, what is? What is Donald Trump going to say that they're so afraid of, except to keep the pressure on them? The left is not practicing any politics of love. They are practicing the politics of hate, of demonization and silencing people. That is pure hate. It's the Mean Girls Club. It's the nasty people at school who try to tell everybody that they're better than everybody else. The left has descended into something I never thought I would see in the United States. They've descended into a fascist party where they're silencing and trying to strip the rights away from their political opponents. Resist all these leftist mandates. We have to resist them through the style that Gandhi did. Peaceful, nonviolent, non-cooperation. If we don't cooperate with them, they can't control us. So we're going to do our part. We're going to keep speaking out, and I'll talk to you again soon on Tutora Time. Hi, everyone. It's Nicholas Tutora. Now more than ever, it's so important to keep free speech alive. So make sure you click the subscribe button so you can stay part of our conversation.